So welcome everyone. Welcome to yoga this morning. We are going to start seated today. So take a moment to decide how your low back is feeling. Just check in with your low back and hips. If you're feeling any tightness, go ahead and sit up on something. Maybe a bolster if you have one, or a folded towel or blanket can be a really nice alternative, even a thin pillow. So go ahead and grab something if you feel any pain or pinching, any tension in the low back. Get that lift in the hips, that tilt in the pelvis. It's just going to make it easier on the spine. And then find a little tiny bit of core engagement. So that's also going to help protect the low back from volunteering for too much of the work while you're sitting here. And then take a moment maybe to find a little movement if you need it, some shoulder rolls. Or maybe just stretching the arms out to the sides or reaching them up overhead. Maybe turning the head gently from side to side. Or nodding up and down. Just really gentle movement. Just arriving in the body today. And then when you feel like you've had enough, go ahead and find a place of stillness and allow the eyes to soften or to close. If you're not comfortable closing the eyes today, just find one point on the floor, several feet in front of you, to rest your gaze softly. And beginning to draw your attention inward. And taking a moment to acknowledge that there's nowhere else you need to be right now, nothing else you need to be doing. You've gotten on your mat, the hard part is over. You've taken this time for you. So just beginning to arrive here, becoming fully present. And maybe taking one or both hands to the belly, about an inch or so below the belly button. And beginning to deepen the breath, beginning to smooth out each inhale and exhale. And drawing the inhale all the way down to the belly, feeling that gentle rise and fall under your hands. And after you've established a bit of a rhythm there, go ahead and move the hands up to the sides of the rib cage. And see if you can feel the breath moving there. Some of these areas may be easier to feel than others. If you can't feel any movement under the hands, just imagine the sides of the ribs expanding with the inhale and gently drawing in with the exhale. And then go ahead and move the fingertips up right to the collarbones or right underneath them. So kind of center of the chest area. This is often the hardest area to feel the breath moving. So just noticing. Usually you'll feel a slight lift on the very top of the inhale. And a little bit of a fall on the very top of the exhale, or I should say the start of the exhale. And then gently release the hands. And you can just set them back in the lap, or you can go ahead. We're going to move through each of these areas in something called 3 parts breath. So if you'd like, you can move the hands as I cue each area. So this is a calming pranayama breathing exercise, a very important part of yoga. So we're going to start just by taking just a normal breath in and out. And then on your next inhale, begin to fill the belly, then expand the breath up to the sides of the rib cage. And lastly, at the very top of the inhale, feel the collarbones gently lift. And we'll exhale the opposite. So lengthen the breath. Exhale, collarbones gently fall, sides of the ribs draw in. Eventually, the belly contracts. So we're trying to make the breath nice and long and smooth to get to each area of the body. Inhale, belly, sides of the ribs, collarbones. Exhale, collarbones, sides of the ribs, and belly. If you can feel the breath moving without the hands, you don't have to move it. Inhale, belly, rib cage, and chest. And exhale, chest, ribs, and belly. Do a couple more rounds on your own, moving with your own breath. If this ever becomes uncomfortable for you, please just go back to a regular breath. We're just trying to get the breath moving, becoming more centered in the body. So moving at your own pace. Seeing if you can deepen the breath just a little bit more, really feeling those areas expand. Let's do 2 more rounds. And last round, moving up through the belly, the sides of the ribs, the chest, and exhaling collarbones, sides of the ribs, and belly. When you've finished your last round, go ahead and release the hands. Just take a couple of breaths here in your seat. Notice how you're feeling. Notice if something has shifted, if anything has shifted, or if nothing has. And doing your best not to attach any judgment, regardless of how you feel. And then begin to find some movement in the fingers and the toes. Maybe rolling the wrists a little. And allowing the eyes to open whenever you're ready. And let's inhale, sweep the arms out and up. And then exhale, just lower them. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale, reach, your bottom half is really heavy and anchored. And exhale, release. 1 more time. Inhale, reach. And exhale, release. This time we're going to inhale and reach the arms up. And on the exhale, we're going to find a gentle forward fold. So if you're on a bolster or a pillow, you may need to adjust the hips so you don't feel like you're falling forward. And then from the center here, maybe find a gentle sway on the palms. Maybe turn the head a little, yes and no. Nice and slow. Your tailbone is heavy and anchoring you down. And see if you can feel the breath in the back body. And then go ahead and walk the hands over to the right, only as far as feels good to you. Softening the head and neck. Breathing into the left side body, Left hip is nice and heavy and anchored. And then when you're ready, walk the hands through center over to the left. Again, soften the head, the neck. That right hip is still dropping down. And then walk the hands back to center. Slowly walk yourself back up. All right. So let's take the left hand and we're going to take the back of the hand, not the palm, but the back, against your low back. And that elbow is going to be bent and out to the side. And then go ahead and drop the right ear over the right shoulder. And you want to make sure you're not squeezing that shoulder up to the ear. So imagine that you're holding a big grapefruit there. So you're keeping some space. Breathing into the side of the neck. And if you want to stay here, please do. If you want to change the angle of the stretch, you're going to keep the head tilted over to the right, and you're just going to draw the chin. You're rotating the chin down towards your right shoulder. So you're looking down now. Just changes the angle a little bit wherever you are. Keep breathing into the left side of the neck. And give it one more breath. And then slowly bring the head back to center. Release that left hand. Go ahead and take a couple of shoulder rolls here. Maybe getting the arms involved when the shoulder has such a static stretch. Sometimes it really needs to work out. And reversing. All right, let's do the other side. So back of the right hand comes to the low back. That elbow is coming out to the side. And then when you're ready, just drop the left ear towards the left shoulder, keeping that space, holding that grapefruit. Breathing into the right side of the neck now. And staying here if you'd like, or if you want to change the angle of the stretch, you're just going to dial the chin down towards the right side of the chest, the right shoulder. Staying with your breath, really seeing if you can feel the breath in the right side of the neck. Imagining releasing a little bit more with every exhale. And give it one more breath. And then slowly return the head to center, release that right arm. Go ahead and take those shoulder rolls again, maybe getting the arms involved if you'd like. Maybe rolling them one at a time. And then reverse whenever you're ready. All right. Let's come onto all fours. So we're actually going to head right into child's pose. So go ahead and move your bolster aside or your pillow unless you need it under the knees. You can also take a folded towel under the knees in child's pose. So I'm going to recommend, you don't have to do this, but normally I'll let you go into whatever child's pose you want, and you're welcome to do that. But I'm going to recommend trying Balasana. So Balasana, maybe grabbing a block for under the forehead. And in Balasana, the big toes are touching, the knees are touching, or as close to touching as is comfortable. And you're lowering the forehead to the block or the mat, and then letting the hands come back by the feet. And you're just letting the shoulders fall forward. So this is a really nice stretch for the low back. If this is an uncomfortable version of child's pose for you today, go ahead and find any other version that feels better. Maybe puppy pose, maybe an extended child's pose with the knees wide. Breathing wherever you are. Letting the arms, the fingers grow soft. Letting the shoulders relax. And give it 2 more breaths here. And then gently walking the hands forward again and pressing yourself up. You can move your block aside. And let's start to work into some cat-cow. So separating the knees about hip distance apart. And then go ahead and take any version of cat-cow that feels good. You can start with the traditional, where you're just up on all fours, dropping the belly on the inhale, and rounding the spine on the exhale. If you feel like you need a little bit more movement, you can drop the hips further back and take a drunken cat-cow, which is a big circle around one way. After you've circled a couple of times, you can switch the direction. And you can also drop back and then drop the elbows as you come forward and circle in this direction. So a couple of options to explore. You can do one or any of these together. Just moving nice with your breath. Seeing if you can maintain the connection of your hands and the tops of your feet to the mat. Go ahead and take 2 more full breath cycles to play with any movement here. And then come back to center, excuse me. Come back to center. And we're going to keep our left hand planted. And let's go ahead and take our right fingertips to the right shoulder and just open the elbow either out to the side or up, whichever one feels more comfortable. Press away from the mat with your left hand. And then extend that right hand up. Maybe take a couple of wrist circles. Give it 1 more inhale here. And on your exhale, go ahead and thread the needle. So sliding that right arm under the left, releasing onto the right side of the head, remembering you can always use a block under the head if you need a little bit more space today. Left elbow can stay bent, kind of gently pressing that left hand against the floor. You can also slide the left hand out to the top of your mat or lift it up and take it to the low back. So whatever you're comfortable, explore here. Find the best version of this pose for you. Breathing into the back of the back of the right shoulder, into the left side body. Seeing if you can find places to release, to soften a little bit more with every breath. And give it one more breath wherever you are. And then slowly release that left hand. If it was lifted, draw it back. Use it to help you press back up to table. And from table, let's go ahead and bump the hips left, look over the right shoulder. So imagine that your right hip and your right shoulder could meet each other in the middle. And then come back to center. Let's bump the hips right, look over the left shoulder. And again, press that left shoulder and hip towards each other gently, getting that stretch in the right side body. And then come back to center. We're going to keep the right hand planted this time. Let's take the left fingertips to the left shoulder and either send that left elbow out to the left or extend it up. Pressing into the knuckles on the right hand, each fingertip. And if you'd like, extend the left fingers up towards the ceiling. Maybe take a couple of wrist rolls here. One more big inhale. And exhale, thread the needle whenever you're ready. Again, finding the best version of this pose for you. Maybe you're just staying exactly as you land. Maybe you're extending that right hand. Maybe you're even extending the right leg and curling the toes under. Listening to your body in every pose. Noticing your breath. Can you smooth it out? Are you in a position that makes it difficult to breathe? See if you can come back to that nice, smooth breath. Give it one more breath here. See if you can release just a little bit more. And then nice and slow, release that right hand or draw it back. Release the right knee if it was lifted. Go ahead and unwind, come back up to table. And I'm going to turn to face forward. So from our table, if you need to pad the left knee, go ahead. Maybe with a towel or a pad. We're going to take that right foot out to the side, to the right. And we're going to line the right heel up with that left knee. Right knee is bent. And we're going to walk the hands back and come up. So take your time here. We want to press and lean a little bit into that right foot. So that's going to anchor us down. And let's inhale, reach the arms up, grab hold of the right wrist, and gently draw back. So you're opening the chest a little bit towards the ceiling. And then gently release the right forearm to the right thigh. And you can open from here, maybe with just the hand on the hip. You're going to press that left hip a little bit forward. Or if you'd like, you can send the left fingertips up and over. One more breath. And then slowly release. We're going to release both hands down. We're keeping that right foot out to the side, but you can scoot it a little further back now so that the heel is not in line with the knee anymore. It's maybe in line with the middle of the leg. And then we're going to walk the hands over to the right. So scooting that foot back is going to give you a little more space in the hip. So some of you are new to my class. This one's a little tricky, so watch me if you need to. The hand that is furthest away from your foot is your left hand. You're going to keep it planted on the ground. And then on your inhale, you're going to extend the right hand up. You're going to twist your chest towards your right knee. Breathing here. And then nice and slow, release that right hand down. Walk the hands back to center. Release the right knee. Take the knees together, big toes together. Drop the hips over to the left, look over your right shoulder. Both knees stay down. Come back to center. Drop the hips right, look over the left shoulder. And come back to center. And go ahead and pad that right knee if you need to. We're going to take the other side. So left foot is going to come out to the left. Left knee is bent. Left heel is in line with that right knee. And then walk your hands back and come up. Again, this can be a lot of pressure on the kneecap, so go ahead and pat it if you need. We're going to lean our weight just a little bit over to the left, pressing into that left foot. And then inhale, arms reach up, grab hold of the left wrist, and gently draw back. One more breath. And slowly release, releasing the left forearm to the thigh. And you can open the chest from here with that right hand on the hip, or if you'd like, send the right fingertips up and over. Press that right hip a little bit forward. Think about rotating the chest open to the right. One more breath. And slowly release. Let's take our hands down in front. And if you'd like, you can scooch that right foot a little, the left foot a little further back now, opening the hip. And we're going to walk both hands over to the left. So we're going to do the same twist. This time the hand that's furthest from your foot is going to be your right hand. It's going to stay planted on the ground. On your inhale, left fingertips will reach. You're going to twist the chest to point towards that left leg. Give it one more breath. And slowly release. Walk the hands back to center. Go ahead and release that left knee. Take the knees together, big toes to touch. Let's drop the hips right, look over the left shoulder. And back to center. Drop the hips left, look over the right shoulder. And back to center. And let's come to a seat. So go ahead and grab your strap or your towel if you are using a towel instead. And we're going to come to our seat and we're going to extend the right leg out. So left knee is bent. The left foot can be touching the inside of the right thigh, but it doesn't need to be. You can have space between. Maybe I'll do it this way so you can kind of see me a little better. So right leg is not straight out in front of you. It's kind of at an angle. So let's take the right hand. I'm reversed. You guys stay where you are. I'll reverse. All right. So let's take the left hand down on the mat. And inhale, send the right arm up and over, gentle side bend. Try and keep that left hip pressing down. And then come back. Extend the right hand down the right leg. And inhale, send the left arm up. And then come back up. Let's go ahead and grab our strap or towel. We're going to take it around the bottom of the right foot. And you're going to turn your torso so that it's pointing over that right leg. So inhale, sit up nice and tall. And exhale, start to fold. So you're drawing the chest forward only as far as feels comfortable towards your leg. Maybe you want to walk the hands further down the strap, or maybe you'd like to release the strap and just hold on to the leg, or release your hands to the floor. Wherever you are, find a gentle tuck of the chin, lengthening the back of the neck. See if you can soften the shoulders. Those right toes are flexed, so breathe into the back of the leg. Give it one more breath here. And then draw the belly button in. Slowly roll up through the spine, nice and slow. And go ahead and release the strap. You can just set it aside. We're going to use it on the other side in a minute. Let's open the feet as wide as your yoga mat with the knees bent, and take some windshield wipers with the knees. And then take the knees back to center. This time we're going to bend that right leg and extend the left leg long. And again, you can have plenty of space between the right foot and the left inner thigh, or you can have them touching. Either way is fine. So let's take the right hand outside of the right hip and inhale, left arm up and over. So both sit bones are still touching the mat, left toes are flexed. And then come back up. Let's take the left hand down this time and right fingertips reach. And then gently come up. Go ahead and grab your strap or your towel. And we're going to take it around the bottom of that left foot. Rotating the chest so that it's pointing over the left leg. Inhale, sit up nice and tall. And exhale, start to fold. So breathing wherever you are, soften the neck. Maybe walk the hands further down the strap. You can also just release the strap. Finding a gentle tuck of the chin towards the chest. And breathing into the back body. Give it one more breath here. And then draw the belly button in from your center. Slowly start to roll up. And you can release the strap and set it aside. Let's take those windshield wipers one more time. So feet nice and wide, dropping the knees from side to side. And then the next time the knees are over to the right, let's keep them there. Both feet are going to flex. We're going to take a small twist. So the left hand is coming to the right knee or inner thigh. And we're going to sit up nice and tall here. So make sure you're not leaning back into that right hand. Sit up nice and tall. And then we're going to shift the weight just in the hips. It's a very small movement. So you're sitting your weight a little bit back into that left hip. Breathing here. See if you can give it one more breath. And then nice and slow, unwind, come back to center. We're going to drop the knees over to the left now. We're going to take our twist so both feet are flexed, protecting the knees. Sit up nice and tall here. And then shift the weight in the hips just a little bit so you're sitting back into that right hip. One more deep, full breath. And then nice and slow, unwind, come back to center. Go ahead and grab your block or a pillow. If you don't have a block, a folded towel will also work. You don't have to have a block for this, but I like having it. So we're going to take a wider cobbler's pose or butterfly. So bottoms of the feet come together, knees are wide, and then push the feet a little bit further away from you so you have more of a diamond shape. And then if you have a block or a pillow or a folded blanket, you can put it on the feet. I think we've done this once before, maybe last week. So you can use this as kind of a landing point for the head. It's going to help you to release a little bit more. If you don't have a block, you can always just fold normally. So inhale, sit up nice and tall. And exhale, start to fold forward from the hips, letting the back, the neck, and shoulders round, landing your forehead on the block or your prop. Block can be on any height. If you're not using a block, just letting the chin round towards the chest. And breathing into the back body. So it's nice to have some support under the forehead. This signals the body that it can release even more when the head is supported. Give it one more breath. And then nice and slow, start to walk the hands back, making your way back up. Let's keep the block nearby. We're going to use it when we come onto our back. Again, if you don't have a block, a folded blanket or a pillow can work just as well. So go ahead and close the knees. We're going to come onto our back. So take your time getting there. Feel free to take any water that you might need. All right. So making your way onto your back, go ahead and take your feet as wide as your yoga mat and do some windshield wipers with the knees again. So dropping the knees side to side, nice and slow. Excuse me. So we're going to head into a gentle inversion, a gentle back bend here. We're going to go into supported bridge. So if you do have a block, go ahead and press into the feet, lift the hips just enough to slide the block under the sacrum. It's that flat area between the tailbone and the waist. You can kind of know it when you land on it. If you don't have a block, you can always slide a pillow under the hips just for a little bit of a lift. And then just allow the arms to open by the sides, palms face up. And then find a little tiny, tiny lift of the chin up towards the ceiling. So you really want to protect that C curve in the back of the neck. You don't want to, the tendency in bridge is to flatten the back of the neck, and you really don't want to do that. And then begin to release the body over the block or over your pillow or folded towel. Taking some deep, deep, full breaths into the belly. Maybe you're feeling really comfortable here, really supported. If that's the case, please stay where you are. But if you'd like, you can also explore some movement. So maybe just something as simple as extending one leg long or extending them both long. Slightly deeper back bend, kind of opening the front of the hips as well. You can also start to take legs up the block, which is just extending, maybe just lifting the feet and having the knees bent and staying here. You can also extend one leg long, or you can extend them both. You may have to adjust the positioning of the block if you are extending the feet up. Usually I have to lift mine a little bit higher. So not all of these positions are going to feel great for everyone on every day. So just noticing where you are today. If you're in legs up the block, remembering that you can stay in stillness or find some movement. Maybe bending one knee at a time or taking some ankle circles. You can also take the splits. So if you are moving, make sure you're moving nice and slow as if through water. If you're not on a block, you can do these same movements. Just enjoying a gentle inversion here. Inversions are really calming for the nervous system. So finding any movement or stillness that feels good to you. And giving yourself 2 more breaths. And then when you're ready, if the legs are extended, go ahead and rebend the knees, release the feet to the mat. And press into the feet just enough to lift the hips and slide out the block or the towel or the pillow and gently roll down through the spine. And you can set your block aside. We're not going to use it anymore. Oops. And then when your hips have landed, go ahead and draw the knees into the chest. And maybe rock a little side to side. Maybe take the knees in a nice slow circle. And then reversing the direction. So let's keep the right knee hugged in. Release that left foot to the mat, keeping the left foot bent, the left knee bent. And then take some ankle circles with that right foot. Make sure you go both ways. Then go ahead and extend the right foot up towards the ceiling. You can always use a strap here if you'd like as a little arm extender. You can also hold on to the sides of the leg or maybe interlace behind. You're gently encouraging that right leg towards your body, and feel free to bend the right knee as much as you need to. Maybe flexing and pointing the right foot now. Give it one more breath into the back of the leg. Maybe draw it a little bit closer to your chest. And then rebend that right knee. We're going to press the left foot down, engage your core a little. So draw the belly button towards your spine, and then start to circle that right hip and knee. So drawing nice big circles. You can use your hand to guide the leg, or you can just move the knee on its own. And then reverse, circling the other way. And then take that right knee back to center. And we're gonna come into half happy baby. So kind of open the right knee a little bit out towards the right shoulder. Maybe grab behind the knee and take the sole of the foot up towards the ceiling. So foot is flexed. Maybe you're just staying here. You can also reach for the ankle, or you can grab either side of the foot. You can also take a strap around the foot, but it's a little awkward to kind of hold on to the strap with one hand, but you can certainly try it. And you're imagining that that right knee could come all the way down and touch the floor, even if it gets nowhere close. Really opening the hip. Maybe staying here, or maybe extending that left leg long down your mat. If you're extending the leg long, you're flexing into that foot, really pressing the thigh down. Give it one more breath wherever you are. And then rebend the left knee if the leg was extended. Gently release the right foot. Hug that right knee into the chest. Hug the left knee into the chest. And then open your arms wide, or take cactus arms or half goalpost arms, and drop both knees over to the left. So finding our supine twist here. Maybe turning the chin to look to the right, maybe not. Breathing into the right side body. Seeing if you can release the knees, the shoulders, a little bit more to gravity. And then slowly turn the head back to center. Engage the core to draw the knees back to center as well. Hug them into the chest. If you'd like, you can, on an exhale, lift the nose up towards the knees, curling into a ball for one breath. And then slowly release. Go ahead and release the right foot to the mat. Hug that left knee in. Take some ankle circles with the left foot. Make sure you go in both directions. And then let's extend that left leg long. And again, you can hold on anywhere that it feels comfortable on the leg. You can also use a strap here or your towel. And you can have as much of a bend in the knee as you need to. Maybe pointing and flexing that foot. Gently encouraging the leg towards your front body. And give it one more breath. And then rebend the left knee. Press that right foot down, engage your core for some stability here. We're going to start to take those circles with that left hip and knee. So opening the left knee out to the side and bringing it back through center. Really trying to isolate the movement into that hip. And then reversing whenever you want. So rotating in the other direction. And then hugging that left knee in. We're going to take that half happy baby. So opening the left knee a little bit out towards that left shoulder. Maybe taking the hand behind the knee, pointing the bottom of the foot straight up towards the ceiling with the knee bent. That foot is flexed. You can stay here. You can hold on to any part of the leg, or you can reach and grab any part of the foot that feels good. You're opening that left knee as much as feels comfortable, and you're imagining dropping that knee so it could brush the floor. Breathing wherever you are. Maybe staying here, or maybe extending that right leg long. If you're doing that, you're pressing the thigh down, the right toes are flexed and active. Your leg may not fully touch the mat, mine is not, and that's okay. It's just a really active leg if it's extended. Breathing, one more breath. And then rebend the right knee. Release the left foot, hug that left knee in, hug the right knee in. And when you're ready, we're going to take our supine twist. So knees are going to drop over to the right, releasing to the floor or to a block if you need a little lift. You can also use a pillow or a blanket. Left arm goes out to the side. Breathing into the left side body. Maybe turning the chin to the left if that feels comfortable on your neck today. Give it one more deep, deep, full breath. And then slowly take the chin back to center. Engage the core to draw the knees back to center as well. If you'd like, for one breath, hug the knees into the chest, squeeze the nose up towards the knees. And then gently release. Release the feet to the mat. And find any other movement you might need before you head into your Shavasana, your final resting pose. So maybe it would feel nice to take a full body stretch. Maybe you'd like to take the bottoms of the feet together, knees wide, finding your reclined cobbler or butterfly pose. Maybe you want to take a full happy baby. So finding any other movement you might need, and then heading into your final resting pose. Remembering that your final resting pose can be whatever is most comfortable to you. So traditionally the legs are extended long, but you can also keep them bent, maybe taking the feet wide and resting the knees together. You can take even that block or the pillow back under the sacrum if that felt good in the supported bridge. Or you can find any other comfortable pose that's calling you. And when you arrive in your Shavasana, allow the eyes to soften or close. Feel the weight of your body growing heavier, surrendering to the pull of gravity, to the support of your mat, of the earth beneath. And let's all take a deep, deep, full breath in through the nose. And exhale, sigh it out. Deep, deep, full breath in. Exhale, let something go. And one more. Deep, deep breath. Fill the belly with air. And let it all release. Allow the breath to return to its natural rhythm. And feeling any tension melting out of the neck and shoulders, releasing from the hips. And let the belly and the chest be soft. Notice if you have any tension in the face. See if you can soften the chin, the jaw, and softening below and around the right eye, and below and around the left eye. And softening the temples across the forehead and the space between the eyebrows. Spending a few more moments with your breath, with yourself here on the mat, releasing anything that's no longer serving you, creating space for new energy to grow. Nice and slow, begin to draw your attention back to your breath. Beginning to deepen each breath, feeling the belly rise and fall like ocean waves. Feeling this energy beginning to spread through the body, and finding some small movements in the wrists, in the ankles, the fingers and toes. Maybe gently turning the head from side to side. Maybe it would feel good to take one more full body stretch or to draw the knees into the chest. Whenever you're ready, bending the knees if they aren't already, making your way onto one side, and taking a moment there, maybe using the bottom arm as a cushion for the head. Just taking one moment of gratitude to yourself for this time, this space, for your focus on your body and breath. And then using the top arm to gently press yourself back up to a seat. Allowing the eyes to soften or close once you arrive. Sitting up nice and tall. And just noticing how you're feeling at the end of your practice. Leaving behind anything that didn't serve you. Taking anything that did off the mat into the rest of your day. If it's comfortable, draw the hands together at the heart. I thank you so much for joining me, for letting me guide you. Namaste.